Hey there, warriors. Do you ever wish that your life could go back to normal? I avoided doing air quotes there, and then I did air quotes. I understand what it's like because when the you know what hits the fan, when all hell breaks loose, when something really traumatic happens in your life, we long for the good old days, don't we? We want to go back to what seems like an easier time. And for a lot of us, they were easier times, they were better times. But no matter how we compare now to then, we can't go back. There's no going back. And the most important thing is there's no such thing as you going back to normal. You have to learn how to live a new normal. And I know how frustrating that can be and how difficult it is, but it's the reality. And so I really think that's the first thing that we have to do is we have to accept. Here we are. This situation is happening. It has happened. This is now new normal. And it can take some time to figure out how to live in that new normal. I know that during most of the years of my daughter Jamie's addiction, I didn't even want anything to do with this new normal. It was just a nightmare. It was hell. But I had to find a way because it was killing me. And then after her death, it was that same thing, literally doing the smallest thing. I remember going to the grocery store and going to the nail salon a couple of weeks after she died. And it's the first time I'd driven my car, and I almost had a mishap driving my car, actually. But it felt weird just walking around the grocery store. It felt weird interacting with people. I felt different than everybody else. And I thought, wow, this is never going to be normal. Nothing's ever going to feel the way it did before. But now it does feel normal for me to go and do those things, but I'm different. And so I can't expect my life to feel or be the same as it was because it's just not. And I'm sure this is how you feel about whatever's happened to you. You know, you long, like I said, for the good old days. And what ends up happening too, I think one of the key challenges that you'll have is you compare now to the good old days, and it seems like everything was so great back then. But if you really look back and examine, you had rough times and difficult times too. As a matter of fact, you may have been wishing for a different time back then. So not everything was so perfect back then, and it just doesn't help us to long for the good old days because we cannot go back. We can only go forward. And so I really hope that your life smooths out, and I hope that whatever challenge you're facing right now doesn't continue for an extended period of time. But sometimes we do have challenges that go on for a long period of time. They just morph into something different. And you know, these things that we come up against, I call them our beasts. And these beasts sometimes just change heads. So for me, I've been for nearly a quarter of a century that I've been going through major challenges. But they've just changed. And some have gotten worse for sure. Losing my daughter was worse in ways. In ways it isn't as difficult as it was watching her on a freight train headed toward a brick wall. So they just change, and we have to change too. We have to adapt. If we don't, if we keep clinging to the past, if we keep wanting our path to be the way it was, if we keep fighting too much, we're never going to be at peace. We're never going to find our way forward. We are never going to be able to ever say, wow, okay, life feels so-called normal again. So I think those are really the things, a couple of things that were key for me. First of all, again, accepting that this is new normal, and maybe it's just new normal right now. But even if something smooths out for you later, you will have changed because of this traumatic situation, this massive challenge, this devastating loss, this huge disappointment. Whatever it is, it has changed you. But it's not all bad news. Because no matter what you're going through, no matter what kind of trauma, no matter what kind of loss or devastation, no matter how long of a period of time or how severe it has been, you can and must figure out how to use it for good. First of all, how to change yourself, because in so many ways you can actually be better, a better version of yourself in these different ways that you may not have been had you not been through what you have. And I know what you're thinking. You're probably thinking, really? I'd rather just not go through it and not be better. I get it. But here you are. So you may as well do something with it. If God has allowed this situation, it is for a reason. And so you must figure out how to make yourself better, stronger, more courageous. Maybe it's more compassionate, more empathy, bolder. There's ways that you can change your life, not in spite of what's happened, but because of it. And imagine if you could just use what's happened to you to change one other person, and then they went out and helped to change somebody else. Just imagine the massive ripple effect from you just helping one other person out of the darkness, one other person up off of the mat, give one other person hope because they see what you do. You are not alone in this battle. I hope you'll connect with me. If you're not already on my email list, go to valeriesilvera.com and definitely join my insider list. That way we can communicate via email. And be sure to subscribe to this YouTube channel. On it, you'll also see my podcast, Brave, Bold, and Unfiltered. I hope you'll check that out. But if you prefer listening to podcasts and not watching them, you can go to Apple or any of the other podcast apps that you like, and you should be able to find Brave, Bold, and Unfiltered. I'm working on a book right now called Burn the Map. I've got some other books too you can find on Amazon. I'm really just hoping that some of my resources, that by seeing my courage, that it will help you to believe that you're courageous too. You are not alone because I'm standing right there with you, and I'm going to keep reminding you that your story matters. So live it courageously.